So are you struggling in the Magic Spire, or are you finding that the number of troops that you're attacking in the Spire are lower than your actual march capacity? How do you raise it? How do you get better performance in the Spire, get hold of more of those great materials to be able to upgrade faster? With Amazon app coins, you can get up to 20% off if you're in one of the special selected regions, and if you use one of my codes in the description down below, then I can get a commission as well, so that will really help support my channel. Thank you. I've started a feature recently where I show you different players in the game who I've met and have done something interesting, tried to communicate, made it a bit more fun. Check out the video at the end to see if you're today's featured player. So I'm in the Magic Spire now, and let's say I'm going to take on Venom, a massively more powerful player than me. You check out your march capacity, it's only 206,000, but I know my march capacity is 214, even without all the extra buffs that could have been applied. So where are my troops? Why can't I use them? Now, there's a good answer to that question. Let's go through the Spire now so you have a better idea on how the event works and how you can do better next time. So hopefully you've been to the Spire before, but it is up here on the right hand side, and so you do need to be Stronghold level 16, I believe, and there is also a timetable for newer kingdoms. It won't open immediately, so if you go to Avalon's Chronicles, it will show you where when it will open. So you can see here that it is unlocked for me, Magic Spire, so expand your territory. So do check Avalon's Chronicles to make sure it has opened if you can't access it yet. So once it's open, you'll see it glowing, a nice mystical portal effect. So you can click on it. Now I'm already in it, so if I click continue exploring, it will take me back to where I was. But let's imagine I'm restarting. So I need to do all of my buffs now, ready for when I've reset it. So for now, let us step out. Now we want to basically buff up for war. So what are the things you can do? Make sure you've got your battle armor on, all your different gear. It should be there standard. Talent points, depending on how much you want to spend, you could reset your talent points to war mode. That will give you a better position when fighting. You're less likely to lose your Spire. Main thing is, if you're in a Spire and somebody attacks you and you lose it, you could have hours where you're no longer gathering crystals. These crystals are really valuable, so being powerful in the Spire, that's really, really helpful. Now you may have the quick talent reset, and you can have one set for gathering and one set for fighting, so you want to set it to that. And then in city buffs, you can apply your defense attack buffs and your march capacity buff. So this will add 25% to my march capacity now. And depending on how seriously you're taking this, you can go into the temporary relics, and you can also purchase the Crown of Command, so that can boost your troops further. And in your Lord Talents, if you have the Colossal March capability, you can click on there and you can bump that as well by a further 10%. So now let's go back to the Spire, and if we click Continue Exploring, and then if we reset the Spire, click Confirm. Now click Enter Spire. This is where you're going to be asked the question, do you want to go back to floor 9 or do you want to start at the beginning? It's really important that you start at the beginning. If you go back to the original floor, you're not resetting your all of your skills. So would you like to teleport to floor 9? No. So click this red button here. And now we are right at the bottom once again, and you have the first monster that you need to take on. So all you want to do is click Attack. The troops are selected for you, so there's nothing you can do to change these troops. You can literally drag them, nothing happens. You can't turn off your dragons, so literally nothing you can do. So just take what they give you and click March. Now if you click away, you can speed up that battle sequence, so you don't need to watch it. You gain 350 mana, and you've now progressed to the first level of the floor. You can check out your relative statistics as well to see how you're doing against this level. So if you're losing, you can check and see where you're weaker if you're interested in doing upgrades just for this. Critical damage does apply in this event. You can see that I did get a critical hit, so they're giving me a critical hit as standard. So if you do need to go further up the tower, upping your critical hit could well help. So now if we progress to the floor 2, you then can access the level 1 mines, so it's always going to be offset by 1 because you've got to go through the first floor to get to the first level mine, which is a bit awkward for me, but okay. So checking out the level 1 mines, if you click on it, it will tell you here how fast you gather crystals, so 28.8 thousand crystals per hour. You click no and you can exit. You can also see here the average Magic Spire power. So the other players in this area, what's their average power? Are you going to be strong or weak against them? This first level mine, there is no fighting. This is locked against fighting, so any farm, any account can get in. You'll never be attacked, so it's absolutely safe. However, don't go into the first one. If you can get higher, you really should. The higher you go, the faster the rate you gather. It's a much better place to be. So let's attack this monster, see if we can beat this one as well. There we go. So we've now progressed past this one, and you can go up to the next floor. Now if you check this mine, it's up to 36k per hour for 36,000 crystals per hour. That's way higher than the other one, and this is only floor level 2. So the higher you go, the better it is. So you can see the number of troops I'm sending is now up to 237, so that's a massive improvement. Now if we click the I button, it can tell you here that the Magic Spire power is based on your Lord power minus your troop power and trap power. Now for most players, trap power is pretty insignificant. It's not a major part of the game. However, troop power is a huge factor. So this is basically taking your battle stats without your army as your power level, and it's a way of benchmarking how you're going to do March versus March against other players. So let's keep progressing up the tower. This is the first time you'll see the average Magic Spire power appearing. This tells you the average power of other players in these mines. Really important for knowing if this is a kind of level where you can fight effectively. Now if you compare your power up here to this power here, it will give you a good idea on whether you're more likely to win or lose. The other really interesting part is the number of empty mines. So it's 14,500. That's a lot of empty mines. So if we check this out now, also the gathering rate has gone up to 43.2 thousand here. So I've now just gone to a random mid-floor 1130, and there is absolutely nobody here. You go up or down and you'll still find absolutely nobody here. So although you can get attacked in this version of the mine, your farms could actually do absolutely fine here. You just go far enough up, but not right to the top, by the way. If you go up to 1800, let's go to the top floor. Then you'll see it stops at 1672. Now there are players here. It's a lot easier to find you at the top floor and the bottom floor, so you want to be in the middle. Much harder for somebody to go to floor level 1249. There are people here, but you just keep going, and you can definitely hide. So I think try it for a while with one of your farms, see how often you get kicked out, and personally I think the extra rate that you get, it's still safe with this many places available to get those crystals. So let's talk crystals. What crystals can you get? Well, if you look in the Spire Loot store, for me they're all unlocked, but for you, you might find that actually there are loads of these that aren't yet open. To get the higher level ones open, you do need to keep progressing to those higher floors. So resetting, getting all of your boosts, you could unlock some of these items. That could be really powerful for you. So if you are struggling, think about boosting your battle stats and boosting your March capacity. Combined, that could get you to unlock some of these extra ones. There's so much good stuff in here. For example, for me, the Immortal Gemstone Tome, that's our current top gemstone. That will change as they release new gemstones, so they will upgrade this to the next level as things change. So you definitely want to buy that. And if you still need the second tier, you can buy those every day, and then they've also got the third tier gemstones available in much cheaper amounts. So you can get a single gemstone. Even if you get the wrong type, you can break it down and use the fragments to build the ones you need. So that's still really, really powerful. So much good stuff in here. You can also get the March capacity boost, so one of these will help you to go further. So as long as you've got enough crystals to open this up, you can get an increase to your March boost and go further and unlock some more. So it will help you to progress further by getting these crystals saved up. Okay, so now I'm at the top of the Magic Spire, so floor 18. That means you can get into the level 17 crystal mines. Check the average Magic Spire power, and it is for me 440 million. And my Magic Spire power is 181 million. That means I'm way, way outgunned on this floor. There is currently one empty one, but even if I went into the empty one, odds on somebody's going to find me and kick me. So check how many floors there are. There's only 24 different places, so somebody would literally have to go through 24 screens looking for the weak players. They give you a clue in KOA who are the massively more powerful than you players. They have these big curly horns on their icons. And here you can see somebody who's got no big curly horn. That is somebody who's more my kind of level. So it's feasible I could beat them. The problem I'd have is I beat them and somebody else will go through and see, oh, I'm a weak player, take me on. So even though there's one empty one, it's on the top floor, I'll be found so easily. So unless you're going to be able to get on all the time to keep checking your march, I would say don't go to the top floor, go to the one where you've got much more of a chance. So every time you drop down the floor, you can see the gathering rate is dropping. However, the number of mines in the area is getting higher. That means that people will get fewer crystals for being there, and there's more spaces to be. So more supply, less demand, the price of joining does drop. So you want to check this. It's still way higher than me, but there'll be a point at which you decide that you're willing to take on more powerful players and lose them every once in a while. The lower you drop, the safer you're going to be, but the fewer crystals you're going to get. So it doesn't matter if you get kicked out a lot, as long as you're on regularly to keep resetting, and the time you're off the tiles you don't lose more than you would get by having the extra rate for the higher floors. So play with this, try some different floors, see how often you get kicked, find your level. And then when you enter a floor, you do, if you've got VIP activated at a high enough level, you have the quick find option. You want to make sure that you set up a march immediately. You're going to go straight into battle at this point. So what march are you going to be sending in the Spire? It's a P versus P, player versus player battle that's happening. So no PvE marches, you need a good deal of infantry. Now you should have a decent one set up if you've used my calculator. If not, check out the description. I'll put a link to my calculator now, which will give you a good starting point. So here's my calculator. You type in the march capacity, set what type of march you're going to do. So yeah, chuck in the details in the march calculator. You can check out this video here for more about how to set up the marches and how to use my calculator. And then you can chuck in the numbers here or have a play with it. Create your own one to see how it works. If you look at my troops, the number I can now send is way higher. I was at 206,000, now with my buffs running, I'm up to 244,600. That's going to make me much less likely to be able to be kicked. Also means I can get higher up, so even if you've not been able to get higher, then doing all those buffs will get you higher in the tower. If you're already at the top, you say it's no point resetting. There is a real point to resetting. If you've made major changes, increased your march capacity, then it means that you can send a bigger march. You're much less likely to get kicked by another player, get more of those very valuable crystals. So after you click the quick find mines, you'll be able to get there'll be a 5-minute cooldown. Yeah, so now you're in a mine. You can see that I'm there for 8 hours and I can't leave for another 2 hours unless somebody kicks me first. So if a more powerful player comes and kicks you off, you can then go around again. If they don't, you've got to wait at least 2 hours. So just as an interesting side note, if you are on a tile and you think, oh, actually I wanted to be somewhere else, maybe you talk to somebody you know in your kingdom and get them to go and kick you. You can tell them where you are, so you can say I'm on floor 23 and I'm gathering here. Somebody can come over and kick you off and you can restart. You can also only be in one mine at a time, so you can't keep kicking people. So after you've reset your march, now's also the time to consider getting revenge. Now if you go to your battle log and go to your revenge list, these are the people who have kicked me off in the past, and you can click the revenge button. Now you bump your stats, the chances are much better that you're going to be able to beat them. Now if you're going into a tile and it's not got anyone in there, or if you're using the quick find mines, then you actually want to be considering a higher defense march. So why is that the case? Well, when you're fighting PvP, the attacker will attack first and then the defender will counter-attack. That means if you're in the mine already, somebody who attacks you will start attacking you, removing your infantry, and then you'll have a lot less infantry for the later parts of the battle. It's worth having a bit extra infantry when you're defending, that way that you know you don't strip all your infantry and suddenly start losing bowmen. Bowmen are so weak in defense. If your bowmen start getting attacked because you don't have enough infantry to protect them, you will die very quickly. So a little extra infantry, 45% perhaps, might be the way to go if you're going to be going into a tile and defending it rather than attacking a tile first. So here's today's featured player. This is Mank, who is attacking me. You can see that he's changed his name to EnglishTim. Now, this is the one thing I wanted to mention is we were fighting in a tower, that's fine, one big attack, that's absolutely within the rules, but now he was attacking for the fun of it, and he does send a full march. So if you are going to be attacking just to say hi, then if you can send a small march so that we neither one of us lose too many troops, that would be nice, thank you. So he did send a full march, and here I am putting on my Breath of Fire. I need to save my troops for the UAC, which we're taking part in at this moment. And there we have it. So I did win the battle, but it was still costly. I lost 250,000 troops right when we needed to keep them. And there he goes. So hello to Mank, this is his profile after his name change, so you can see part of GEW, Global Elite Warriors, and he said one for EnglishTim in his motto. So that's the other way you can communicate, is to use mottos. So change your name and it's obvious you're trying to talk, and then you can also make changes to your motto. So I am EnglishTim, thanks for watching my video. Please do check out my channel for any future content. Thanks for watching today.